What's up guys, this is Epton Tech and I'm going to be comparing two very different phones, the OnePlus 7 Pro and the Samsung Galaxy A21. These phones are made by two different companies and run two different types of software skins on Android. So we'll see how they pair up in this video. First, we're going to talk about the specifications of each phone. So this one, the OnePlus one, is 128 gigabytes with 6 gigabytes of RAM, and that's good. 6 gigabytes of RAM holds quite a bit of apps, which is nice. The Samsung is 3 gigabytes of RAM and 32 gigabytes of storage, so it's on the lower end. I personally think, and I've said it in a previous video, 4 gigabytes of RAM should be the minimum for Android phones. They consume a lot of RAM all the time. Even opening up Chrome on Android phone takes up like a gigabyte. So it's really important that they try to put as much RAM as possible in these Android phones. Going a little bit more into the specifications, the OnePlus phone has a 6.67 inch curved OLED 1440p 90Hz panel. The Samsung has a IPS 720p, so it's not OLED by the way, panel with a big chin and a hole punch in the top corner. And that's a sacrifice you have to make for a $250 retail price phone versus a $669 retail price phone. The prices now are drastically different. You can get the OnePlus phone for under $400, and it varies for the Samsung phone. You can get it in between $100 to $250. It depends what type of carrier you're getting it at on Amazon, etc. There's always a deal on these phones, so you won't be surprised about that. Going a little bit more with how much these batteries last in a day, they are both 4,000 milliamp hour batteries. Opening up GSM Arena. See how like the phone is a little slower on here because it has a Helio P35 processor, which kind of sucks. It's a mid-range. You can't expect too much from them. It's good enough. The OnePlus has a Snapdragon 855, which is superb. It is an amazing, awesome. It feels like a fresh phone. If you release this phone in 2021, I wouldn't even have batted an eye. That's how much the speed that comes out of this phone. I love it so much. Battery life. The Samsung does a little bit better, to be honest. I mean, it's 720p, 60 hertz. You're not expecting much from it. But with this phone, it lasts pretty well for the OnePlus. You know, they have better optimization in their software. Going into the settings, apps on these phones, we can actually look at that. See, you can just see the difference between, One UI and Oxygen OS. Like, it's just so different. You know, this phone runs One UI Core. About the phone, the A21. See, if I go about phone here, it gives me a different page. It actually gives you like the specs of the phone. So you can see it's 48 megapixel main camera, 16 megapixel, I think, ultra wide, and 8 megapixel telephoto. All great cameras. I love the cameras on this phone so much. They're awesome. If I had to choose Android phones with the best cameras, I'd say OnePlus. Some people would disagree with me and say Samsung has better cameras, but on this phone, the cameras are trash. The best part is the 16 megapixel camera, and it takes mediocre photos. I can actually do a little camera comparison with this plant right here. Let's take a picture of it using the camera app on the OnePlus. You can see it's very vivid already. Quick snap. Let's open this phone. Oof, you already could tell the difference, and this is like superb lighting condition, by the way, so we really should be getting the best of the best out of these photos. Like, these are probably the best lighting conditions the photo can be taken in. And these are the difference. Looking at detail, washed out. Like, you could see how much color you get out of this photo. And looking at the display, you see how like when you zoom in on the picture, look at all this bezel around the phone. Look at this like curve. Just it's madness how awesome this display is. The viewing angles are crazy good. And I feel like it might be worth the extra money. I know nowadays people are saying that mid-ranges are getting better. Well, what about old flagships? Those are great too. Android phones drop so quickly in price that you can snag a 2020, 2019 phone for so cheap now. You know what I mean? And I like that. I like this. This is a good progression with these companies. You know, let's do a little speed test between these phones. Let me make sure I'm closed out of my apps. And let's open up Google. That was a very noticeable difference. Let's open up the camera. Oh, similar. YouTube. Let's open up another app like TikTok. I mean, you could see like the Samsung, it's fine. Like it gets the job done. It's not done, ain't doing anything crazy. But what are you expecting? Let's open up the Play Store. They're both fine. Looking at the back of these phones, you could see like this one has a fingerprint sensor. They're both super glossy. Like look at all these fingerprints. I hate that so much. There's a fingerprint sensor on the back. So let me unlock the phone. It took a second or two. It's fine. I love fingerprint sensors, especially during COVID-19 pandemic. Let's use this one on here. Took a second or two. I like it under display more, but a fingerprint sensor is a fingerprint sensor, and iPhones lack it, and I think they should have them. So that's my opinion on that. And when it comes down to just updates, the OnePlus 7 Pro has Android 11, while the Samsung has Android 10, even though this is a year older, I guess, than the phone, because OnePlus updates their phone well. Stereo speakers are awesome on the OnePlus, really nice. This one has kind of stereo speakers. I mean, it does have an amplified microphone, but like it's nothing like this one. It's a tinier speaker, but you get, I guess, what you pay for with these phones. Now, looking at the Android market, Samsung is going to be releasing the Samsung Galaxy A12, 42, 52, etc. And I think those phones are going to be really worth it. So should you hold out? Maybe. Should not. I don't know. This one has One UI 2.0 core, so you don't get the full customizations of Samsung phones. And it's really up to choosing, you know. Do you want the One UI experience? Or do you want the Samsung experience, you know? Let's like open up the settings app again to show you like how the UI interface is just different. I mean, you are just getting different stuff. This one has built-in customization. Like built-in, like I can control the horizontal light, the fingerprint animation, the ambient display. This one can't do it because it's not OLED. Keep that in mind. And let me just like open up one game, I guess, if you want. Like let's open up Among Us actually. See which one loads up first. We have OnePlus on the bottom. We are in it on the OnePlus device. Now we're in it on the Samsung. So, you know, they're pretty respectable phones. You get what you pay for, but OnePlus, I think, won this battle, definitely. It's an old versus new fight nowadays, and the old phone decided to beat the new one. You know, it might be unfair a little bit, because this is a mid-ranger, but Samsung is pumping out these phones like crazy. If this was the A52, A51, then it would be a little bit harder comparison, because those phones, like, they got the always on display and stuff like that. So, you know, I guess you'll make your decision. I think the OnePlus won. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. And as always, peace out.